Hello, my crafty friends. Hi, Diane. I see you're already on. You're all sunshiny and smiles. You know, that's good because that is perfect for this card. Sunshiny and smiles. Sunshine is in the name. Sunshine and tulips. Plus, it is sunny here and warm. But I started out the morning with a sweater on because it did freeze last night. It was cold. It's a good layer of frost on the ground. But I just walked out to get the mail, and it is warm out. I would say it's probably pushing 60. I didn't look at my app, and now my apps they're busy. They're hosting this. You know, I've got my phone up above, and I've got my iPad straight ahead. So I can't actually look, but it felt really warm. So I went and changed shirts. So how's your day going? What you drinking? I am drinking something different. It's in my Stampin' Up cup. But it is Spindrift sparkling water, and it is the blood orange flavor, which I really like. I don't always like all of the sparkling water flavors, but this one is my favorite, so I buy it by the case. That is one reason I've had enough coffee today. I just kind of bouncing over here, plenty of coffee. So I thought, Spindrift would be good. Something cold and refreshing. And I actually had a morning. You know how mornings go? I had a prescription that my insurance company insisted I had to change an inhaler I used. Hi, Hillary. And so I put it in to be filled, and it wasn't filled. Hi, Cindy. So I decided to call and see why. So I called the pharmacy, and it seemed to somehow just have gotten lost in the shuffle. And they said they'd get it in and would fill it on Monday. So then I got a text saying they had it. It was on hand, and for a 1-month supply, it was $630. Now, I haven't satisfied my deductible yet this year. So that pretty much set me off, wondering why would a medication be that much? As it turns out, I called my insurance company, and that would be my full deductible for the year. So I'm going to think about getting it filled. But since I've changed because of them, you'd think they would be less expensive. But that's more expensive than what I was paying with the previous one I had. And it lasted, one inhaler, it lasted 2 months. So I just have to think about that one. Anyway, that was my morning. I just all kinds of fun phone calls. And you know, I don't like talking on the telephone. It's not my favorite thing to do. I like to text, I like to email. Every once in a while, the phone is fine. But I was on the phone today, and they weren't fun phone calls. Anyway, enough of me. What have you been up to today? Yes, Cindy, that's what I said. What? Wow, that was a lot. Hi, Gladys. Good to see you. I have a few little things I wanted to show you. So let's do that right away. We have a new product of the month. And this picture doesn't do that paper justice. I don't have it, but I've seen better pictures of it. And I've watched it on other videos. Because some people, you know, they actually order early and they expedite their orders. I hate paying shipping, so I don't expedite. But yeah, it is a beautiful paper. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's like oh, look, can you see my mouse? If you can see my mouse, I'm on it right now, but it's in the upper right-hand corner as you're looking at it. That is a really pretty paper. Oh, I'm glad you were out this morning, Diane. That would be fun. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to show, the lovely stamp set, Fabulous Sayings, is still available. And remember, with every order that you do, it's $5. And then here's that pretty blue Designer Series paper. So if you put in 3 orders of $75, you would have, or is it $50? I don't remember now. And the print is too small for me to read. Last Chance products were just updated. I pulled a few things off my shelf. And, oh my, just a few things. Actually, it wasn't too bad this time. I was pleasantly surprised. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. And here is the stamp positioner that's the exclusive join offer. And I think we're going to use it today. Not positive, but I think so. And I wanted to share this picture. I know it was on my web page, my Facebook page. But isn't that pretty? This one is cleaned up a little bit more, a few more of the lines. There were power lines running through all that picture. And so this one is a really good cleaned up version. But the colors were so pretty. And Birch Bay is fun to look at. Let's face it. And then, this is a gentleman, a groundhog, formerly known as Phil. Oh, yay, Debbie, I'm glad you're here. May I say that Phil is now in witness protection, so I don't know what his name is. But it was better than the crockpots waiting for him after saying there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. So I thought you'd appreciate that. Gladys sent me that picture. But Phil looks pretty good with a mustache and sunglasses, don't you think? All right. Back to me for just a minute. I thought Phil was adorable. I'm just going to set up the table in a fairly quick manner because I want to show you who's getting card kits. Here we are. It made me laugh. Phil in Witness Protection Program. Better than all those crockpot ones I saw that day. Gladys, I'm not going to tell you where he's hiding, okay? Just know he's safe from all the crockpots. Here is Diane Newman. You are getting one. Hi, Luann. Oh, really? It won't show the dialog box. Isn't that weird? But I'm glad you're here. Sometimes electronics act up. Yes, I am glad Phil is somewhere warm. Although it's warm here, but not tropical. Gladys, not tropical, but if you want to come visit and look for him here, feel free. I've got an extra bedroom. Jan's getting one. Hillary, you're getting a kit. And Cindy. Wow, 3 of you are on. That's cool. I will get those out in the mail probably tomorrow. 6 weeks until spring or 6 more weeks of winter. That's not a lot of difference. It isn't. But we're going to pretend it's spring today because I was feeling springy and this bundle jumped out of my basket, my little container of products I haven't used yet, and said, use me. And so here we are. This is the Sunshine and Tulips, bundle. Lovely sayings. My favorite, and it's one I used, and I'm going to use today again, is if friends were flowers, I'd pick you. Well, know that I would pick you all. Because you were already friends. But good days ahead. Thanks for your thoughtfulness. And a nice little thinking of you that isn't too fancy. So maybe for a guy card, that would be really nice. Cindy, 69 degrees. That sounds good. I'm wondering if it's pushing 50 here. Only because 30 degrees for a short time. Oh, back to the teens tomorrow. I'm sorry, Gladys. No wonder you're after Phil. You can tell Jan that. She's not on yet, but she will be. I got one too. And I have happy mail to share. But the best part of this is this die. I just fell in love with that die. It cuts out. I like these little guys too. And I like the sentiment shape, the label shape. But this big die just had, it. Like I said, it jumped out and it attacked me. I wasn't hurt in the attack, however, so that's good. But here's our card. I have used, the base is basic white. And this is what the die does. It cuts out these lovely shapes so you can have pretty paper shine through. But look, it's even got a little bit of dimension. Now these are going to go down in the mail. But you could give it a little dimension, pop them up a little bit. I just think this is a very cool die. And it's got stitching all around. And I do fall for that stitching. The paper, though, it wasn't just the dies that jumped out. It was the paper. The Designer Series paper. Splash of sparkles. Look at that. Now this one is silver. Bubble Bath and Balmy Blue with a little Highland Heather thrown in. And here's the back. Just kind of swirls of a gentle Balmy Blue, Bubble Bath. This is the one I used on a card that's going to be for next week's Global Share Fair. That's the private group that I'm in that my downline is invited to watch the demonstrations. However, the video will be next Friday afternoon. It will be for everybody to see. I'll make it public. But isn't that pretty? Wasn't thrilled with this side, but it's cute. And for what I did, it was this side that stole the show. We've got Timid Tiger, the Bubble Bath, and gold on this one. This just looks like a party. And I thought it was really cute. And the back is the Timid Tiger. Very neutral back. Oh, here's another one of those. So each page is just a little bit different. Bubble Bath with silver and Balmy Blue. Oof. Now, as you might get, oh, you like my nails? Thank you. I'm going to tell you that, the Seattle Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl tomorrow, on Sunday. Yeah. So I had to have Super Bowl nails. I just didn't want to go too crazy, so one decorated blue and green on each side. Green is not exactly my color, but I thought the blue was really pretty, and I don't know if you can see, but there's sparkles in that blue. Anyway, I like this one, as you can tell. Oh, and lovely stripes on the back. So that is pretty. This one is interesting. I like it because I like swirls. Oh, what's on the back? Little shapes. But what really gets me is the showy side. So this is lovely paper. So Splash of Sparkles also jumped out and grabbed me. It did hit me over the head, but I have a hard head, so I'm okay. Try to ignore the mess behind me. Oh my goodness. I have got projects going and I have got stuff everywhere. It's crazy. But I have a little clear space right here in front of me, so we're good. So what we're going to do is check and see. It's not a hard card to make. It's got a little embossing on it. Instead of the Azure Afternoon, I'm going to use Timid Tiger because my paper is a little different. And so here's my thought with the Designer Series paper. I don't really want a lot of white to show through, so I cut it a little narrower. It is, let's see, how big is it? I think it's 3¼ inches. And if I'm very careful, I can get this on. I can even push it over a tiny bit more. I think that's about as far as I can go over. I'm not sure why they didn't carry the color clear to the end. I would have liked that. So, I'm going to put that aside. Let's put this on carefully. And we'll use our glue. Oh my goodness. Somebody didn't get that on their glue press base very well. I'm sure it was either Susie Cute or Harley. It wouldn't be me. Just wanted to let you know on that. just in case there was a question. Well, I really don't want that clear over there. Let's take that off. Now I'm going to have sticky fingers. You know, I really should get some wipes to have on hand. All right, we've got little glue dots. I'm going to grab a silicone mat, which really is a must for crafting because glue doesn't stick to it like it does to my fingers. And because this is a little bit narrow, yes, Cindy, sparkle is good. I am definitely a sparkle fan. Okay, I think I've got it. I'm just going to put that down. Oh, our son went away. Well, when I went down to get the mail, and there is Happy Mail to share. So there's the back and the front. I am going to just take my ribbon, and let's do the ribbon wrap first. And I wanted the ribbon wrap to be between the bottom two rows. So I'm just going to put a strip. I am loving this ribbon. Now I don't know why this one came so ruffled, but I kind of like it. It's kind of cute. I think maybe as it goes further on, it'll flatten out a little bit more, but I'm not opposed to ruffles. Well, hi, Luann. It's working. Good. It just wanted to act up for a minute. Okay, looks like that's down a little low. Let me just raise that up a tiny bit. Well, let me actually raise it up by turning this, kind of seeing how it lines up with the, yeah, that's pretty good. That looks pretty straight. Guess what I did before I came on? Oh, Heidi, you're driving home from work. Cool. So this is what we're making. A sunshine and tulips card because I'm feeling like spring. And because it jumped out and attacked me. We are going to tie a bow, but we're going to do that later when we've got everything else together. And as long as we are putting things together, that's one thing I noticed about the retreat that Stampin' Up! Put on. They actually did all the prep first, and then they put it all together. I kind of liked having as many pieces as possible not on my desk because I lose things. Usually not for long, but I do lose things. Oh, maybe a few extra dimensionals than normal, but that's okay. And I just use my nail to get off the backings. I've tried using the take your pick, and I just don't have as much success as just grabbing with my fingernail. For the bigger ones, the little ones can be kind of challenging. Plus, if they're already in my hand, I can throw them in the garbage can. I could offset the saying to hide the white space, and I might need to do that. So we'll just kind of center this. It may not be perfect because I am not over the top of it, but there. Oh, one backing. It escaped. And for the inside, we're just going to do something super easy on the inside. So let's go ahead and do it. I have piece of there are little cutoffs that you make. And I made quite a few little cutoffs when I was trimming down the paper. Both times. This is the two-toned cardstock, and that's what I'm using, is the two-toned shaded spruce cardstock. So I am just going to put this on the bottom here. I don't know, I like to leave a little bit of white at the bottom. And this is just going over the top of it. I thought about aligning it above, and then I thought I kind of like that. So let's just take, I was going to tell you what I did. I took all of my snips and I thoroughly cleaned them with alcohol. So they're feeling so good now. Those are my ribbon scissors. So, but these are not ribbon scissors. Look at that. No problem. Perfect is overrated. Cindy also hasn't mastered the take your pick tool with those little dimensional backs. And you can keep this for another project, but to me that's not very much, so I'm going to not keep it. And if you've gotten a little smudge on your white, that's what's so good about paper. It's two-sided. So I noticed that last night, and I thought, oh, not a problem. One of the things you could also do is you could make this a little bit smaller and put another mat of the two-toned shaded spruce under it. That would kind of pop it out. Look how easy that has been. Super, super easy. So since that was so easy and impressive with the Splash of Sparkles Designer Series paper showing through, I thought we should probably emboss our saying, our sentiment. And since we've got gold, a gold theme going on, here's our little die cut. And here's my embossing kit. Have you ever done this? This is the embossing buddy, which really you want to use when you're embossing. Just pat, 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 pat. But then you get that little icky powder on your fingers. Well, try putting it's not a paper clip, but it is a clip. Binder clip, that's what it's called. Put that on top and see how it goes. It's easy to pick up, easy to use. Doesn't go back in its little plastic bag anymore, but that's okay. Oh, we should have a sentiment. Look, we have a sentiment. A sentiment, and we have our Versamark. And I am going to do the sentiment, and then I'm going to put the little row of tulips on afterwards. So here's the sentiment about in the middle. And I just like to give it a moment so it picks up that Versamark. It's not straight, but that doesn't matter because when we cut it out, it will be straight. I also cleaned my tweezers. I am so impressed. Got a couple of brushes in case I didn't use my embossing buddy quite enough. And the tray. So there we are. We'll put our gold on. That looks good. While I'm not going to clean this up, I am going to set it far away from the heat tool, which I have plugged in behind me. And I just stacked lots of things on top of the cord. So let's move those. Sorry for the noise, I'm just going to... Yes, my purple tray is magnetic. I bought it from the Country Hive. I bought a lot of things from the Country Hive. I think I've decided I'm liking the ribbon holders. So I'm going to have to buy more of those. So here we are, and we just heat it long enough to melt the powder. And then just take and, there, let me get that turned off. So what I'm going to do is cut it out, and I'm going to put my die a centimeter up higher because I really want those tulips on the bottom. Another use for the silicone mat is to anchor down. Oh, I am right-handed, so that would be better for me. Anchor the mini stamp and emboss. The cut and emboss? Cut and emboss. Because it's lightweight and it moves around when it's just set on paper. Okay. I think that looks good. I'm going to take my wonderful low-tack tape that Diane Newman sent me. Thank you again. I've actually bought some more, but it's really a good tape. The only thing is you don't want to use it when you're using vellum because things don't stick well to vellum. Then, of all things, you should use just regular tape. Your normal Scotch tape. Okay, here we are. Now in the kits, I have put in not quite a 6x6. I cut a little strip off the bottom so to fit in the envelope. And I put in but you get that little strip and the 6x6. So you've got plenty of designer series paper. There, that was good. Nothing's broken. I'm a klutz. Okay, back in the tray. This is done. Let us just make sure there's enough embossing buddy on it. Grab our, and this is where I thought I might use the stamp positioner, but then I decided, well, really, I don't need to. Did you see the picture last week of the stamp positioner? In use, I forgot to put the sentiment on the inside of the card. I know. You'd think I wouldn't forget that one. And this is just going across the bottom. I will clean these up. You know, I realized when I was pulling my scraps out, I don't use a lot of Timid Tiger. I like it. For an orange, it's pretty nice. So it's nice to use Timid Tiger. And you will get either Timid Tiger or Azure Afternoon in your kit, depending on the DSP colors you're getting. Okay. And this is what my little brush is for. I'm tempted to take that little bit of gold off right there. I think I'm going to. There. Let's bring back in our heat tool, but first, I am opposed to burning my fingers, so that's why I have the reverse tweezers out. All done, ready to go. And this is going on with dimensionals. And I think it's time to start cutting. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we can go ahead. I don't normally just put 2 on. There it is. But it's going to straddle. Oh, I should have left those on while we looked at it together. Okay, so I could put it here, and then the bow right next to it. Let's see, how far over could this go? What do you think? Do we want to do that? I think I kind of like it in the middle. Although if I did this, then I could just put my brass butterflies up in this corner. So, anyone have an idea? Oh, Luann, yeah, I like the size of the new one. Yes, you're right. It's the whole piece of paper fits in. So much nicer. Okay, I'm waiting for your comments. Are we going to offset or put it back to the middle? Oh, I should move it to the middle. Okay, move it to the middle. This is what it would look like. I think, yes, I think, Debbie, you're right. Putting it over on the side will cover up that white, and having the white covered up will make me happier. So, let's do that. And then I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to actually tie a bow. Let's see. Let me just slip that under. People who are very well coordinated don't have this problem, but I am clipping that off because it will be easier for me to tie. Here we are. And this is where I fall down. It's getting that little loop through. Not bad, not bad at all. Let's tighten that down and just adjust so that we have the right size loops for our bow. Scrunch that up a little bit. Now, one of the things I'm going to do right now while I'm thinking about it is I don't like bows to move around. Oh, good, you're home. I'm glad you're home. Home is a safe place to be if you're going to be watching YouTube or Facebook. Yeah, I'm going with, I just went with that covering up the white because it annoyed me. So I'm going to take this and tuck it under the bow to hold it in place because I don't like traveling ribbon. I'll just clip that off. And I think I've given you a strip long enough to do either put it on and tie it or do like I do, wrap it and then tie the bow on. Now, I have to tell you that I am very, very, very sad that my beloved brass butterflies are on the last chance list. I ordered an extra one anyway. I don't normally have retired product around, but oh, I'm glad you like that, Heidi. Yeah, it's a little easier and I don't get powder on my fingers. And I don't know whose video I saw that on, but I thought that's a brilliant idea. So I decided to borrow it. So we've got a couple of them. And here's a little third one. It's just going to barely hang over into the flower. This one might be going to be like he's flying away from the flower. Anyway, brass butterflies, I really do like them. They're great on flower cards. Butterflies make me happy. So, there we are. I have company. My grandson has come to look at my TV on the wall.
Hello.
Because it has a non-compliant problem. Whenever I try to pull it out, it tips forward. And so it's not tight anymore. And that's something that just kind of started. I did push it back really hard last time. Oh, he just saw it. Okay. Anyway, this is our card. I hope you liked it. Oh, there's no Wink of Stella on it. I am sorry. But it's got a lot of bling, so I decided not to do Wink of Stella. You know, Sarah, that's one of the things that I liked about it first, was that it's flat. Heidi Keeney says hello.
Hello.
Anyway, I have some mail to share. So let's do some of it, and I'm going to keep some of it for later. But put these aside. I will do my envelope later. You've all watched me do envelopes. I'm glad you like the card. So when I was doing it, I used the top of this paper because it's gradient in colors. And so I am going to use this envelope, which matches this designer series paper. And this will be for this envelope, and it'll match there. I am glad you like the card. Okay. I have a 12 card swap that I did with Jess Brigden put together. So I'm going to save that for next week because I haven't even looked at them yet. So this is from Sarah. Isn't that a cool fold? That is a cool idea. I really like it. And I like the striped paper. Is that the striped and dots paper? Fragrant Florals, Mixed Up Patterns, DSP, with the Fragrant Layers bundle. Very cool. And you saw earlier that, was it Diane wanted to thank Jan for the easel card with a calendar. And I also got one. Isn't that pretty? But we're going to take off January. January is done. Well, we would take off January if I could get my fingers around it. There we are. But that's a pretty card. So thank you, Jan. I love it. And I love the gems. So here we have two. I have Shirley Meitzler sent me a card. She took that typewriter and she gold embossed it on black. Isn't that cool? I've got some shadows today. Can I get that under here? What if I pick this light up? There, now it shows. That is so cool. And then she wrote me a nice note. She didn't sign it, so I can use it, but she wrote me on paste paper. So thank you, Shirley. Here is cute. Cheryl Healy sent this. It's a shaker card. You know I like shaker cards because they make noise. So I really like that. In fact, I ordered some flip-flops. I want to try making a shaker card with flip-flops. So hopefully you'll see that soon. Flip the top layer over. On this one, there's no top layer. Yes, the top, it is gorgeous. And here is a paper from the past. I loved this paper. And this was my friend Lori. Friend in downline, Lori Russell. She's going on stage with me, by the way. Very cool. And this slides under, well, it slides under the sentiment. And it's generally not that hard to do. But isn't that cool? I loved this paper. It is absolutely gorgeous. This was from my friend Chris Nunley, who went to Birch Bay with us. This is hand painted. She got it at a market. An artist did this, a young woman, she said, and it's gorgeous. Look at those colors. That is just beautiful. Oh, she said a young lady was selling them at a craft fair. There's the note that goes with it. And then I signed up for a retreat with Dina Rico, Kelly Atchison, and Barb Mulligan, and got a thank you and a prize patrol. So now I have more sparkle dots. But isn't that cool? I also won the bingo, one of them, and I have a bundle that arrived. So I just sent off a thank you card for that. And I think that's it for today. So I hope everybody is doing well, that you have a wonderful weekend. Oh, yours is the yellow one, Sarah. Did I miss something? Okay. I did miss something. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So that's like a special Z-fold. I love it. No, the rose paper is not available any longer. It was 2 or 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, I did. I was glad to the retreat. It was very fun. I had a good time. And in order to be able to play the bingo, you could watch, but to actually play, you had to buy the kit. So now I have one of the things in back of me is all of the card stuff. Well, I'll show you. Because this is the only piece behind me that's semi-organized. The bundle was the Endless Love dies and Endless Love stamp set. And then here are all of the goodies from the retreat. So it was very fun. Very fun indeed. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good time and that you were inspired by the sunshine and tulips and that it jumps out and bites you too so that you can play with it. And if I've enabled you to purchase it because you didn't think you needed it, or the Designer Series paper, you've made me happy. Thanks again. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you.